you for coming to my lair. So you know what? It is so cold today. You're supposed to say, how cold is it? It is so cold today that I'm really happy that my studio is in this corner, because this corner is 90 degrees. I've been waiting all day to say that. That's a cute joke. Gotta start your day off with a good belly laugh. Okay, so today's project. It is not for people who don't like tediousness, because believe me, when you're cutting toilet tissue into 1-inch strips, it's a little bit tedious. And then you're playing with your seeds, it's a little bit tedious. So this project is going to appeal to you depending on what you want it for. If you want it because you want to help end seedling sacrifice, we need to talk. If you're doing it for convenience, we might also need to talk. But I'm going to do this today. I'm going to show you how to make the seedling tape, or the seed tape. You can find it pre-made in the stores, but let's talk about that for just a second. So this is the pre-made. It's by Fairy Morse. Let me shut off the heater so that sound doesn't bother us. And I found this at Ace Hardware. And this one is lettuce seed bowl. Now the reason why I bought it was because I wanted to see what Fairy Morse is doing with theirs, since they offered it. So it doesn't really tell me what kind of lettuce is in this. It just is called Lettuce Salad Bowl. It is Fairy Morse Easy Tape Plantable Seed Tape. You get 15 feet of tape over 340 seeds. And the directions are very simple. You make your furrow, you lay out your seed tape, and then you cover it. And it's supposed to end seedling sacrifice. You know, when you drop 3 seeds or 2 seeds in a space and then you have to pop them out, well, that's not going to work, because let me show you why that's not exactly true. Look at the seed spacing on this. You can find 3 and 2 seeds. You can find 1 seed, but you can also find the 2. Look at that. That's 3 seeds right together. So you're still going to have to commit seedling sacrifice, or thin out the smaller guy to allow the bigger one to grow. So I'm going to go ahead and make this myself and show you how. Incidentally, this was around $5. When my packet of seed, where I actually know what kind of seed, what kind of lettuce it is for seed collection, you know, later on I want to exactly identify my seeds. This was $2.79. I don't know how many seeds. I think this is 2 grams of seeds, whatever that is. All right, so let me show you what you need for this project, okay? If you want to do it yourself. So you're going to need biodegradable tissue paper. Now, biodegradable means not that kind of tissue paper that you wrap gifts in. It's going to have to be biodegradable toilet tissue. It has to be something where if you get it wet, it easily pulls apart, because those tiny little fibrous root hairs that are going to germinate, they can't be fighting. Like if you use that party tissue paper, that'd be like trying to wrap it in almost like this. And those little baby seeds aren't going to be able to get through there. So it has to be very thin biodegradable tissue. If you don't want to use toilet tissue, you can use paper towels. People have been germinating seeds in paper towels for eons. So that absolutely can be done. And that paper is just going to biodegrade into your garden anyway. Okay, so you need to get it in about 3-foot strip. Any longer than that, it's going to get too floppy on you and you're not going to be able to like really make this project. And then you're going to need, of course, a pair of shears for cutting your tissue into 1-inch strips. 3 feet of tissue into 1-inch strips. You're going to need a marking pen, any color. You're going to need flour. Now, this can be glued to your tissue using glue, and I've seen that done. But those tiny little seed embryos, I don't know about using glue on them. I just personally choose, I haven't done any research, so I don't know if like commercial glue is going to hurt the embryo part of that seed and keep it from germinating, if it's going to encase it too hard, I don't know. So I'm just going to go with all natural flour and water. And I learned that from one of the universities, University of, and I don't want to quote the wrong university, so I'm just going to say a university. I watched a presentation on this, and so I kind of I was looking for reasons why to use this versus that. Okay, you need some way of getting the glue, which is your paste, your flour and water, onto your little strip of paper. So you could use the end of a paintbrush if you have a wooden one, or a matchstick, or I guess you could use a toothpick. A matchstick fits my fingers pretty well, plus it's wood, so the paste is gonna kind of adhere to that a little bit better. And I just think I can handle it better with a matchstick. Something to mix your flour and water in. So you'll also need water. And then you're gonna need some way of handling your seeds. So just get you out a handy dandy seed grabber, AKA tweezer. And then I also suggest that you get something that you can store your seed tape on easily. So old toilet tissue rolls and a paper clip is really handy. And then a pen for keeping track of what's on your seed tape. Okay, so let's get started. So here's the idea. So you mix up your flour and water into a paste-like consistency, and then you're going to dab the pasty, the flour water pasty, every inch all the way down your strip, and then you're going to put a seed on each one of those little dabs. Like I said, very tedious. Now the convenience part of it. Like today is really cold and I can't really be outside and doing anything, so instead I'm inside and I'm basically prepping my seeds to go straight into the row. On the first day that I walk outside and I think, oh wow, today'd be a great day to garden, all I have to do is go get my then dried and rolled up stored seed tape or seed strip and just lay it in the furrow and cover it up. That's totally convenient. I do like that. The ability to stay inside and play around with my seeds today, I like that. It's good for dexterity, that's for sure, you know, putting a seed every half an inch, but you're kind of going to be doing that when you're gardening anyway, unless you have some fancy seed shooter thing, which I don't happen to have, nor would I probably be able to find that every season. I'm just going to put mine at 1 inch intervals all the way down. Then I'm going to put the top on it, and then I'm going to dry it and I'm going to store it. And my first nice day, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to plant it. I kind of like that. I like the idea that I get to play in this stuff today. So let me go ahead and make this one up and I'll be right back. All right, so the end of my matchstick's a little bit wet, and then it's really not that hard. You just pick up a seed and you plunk it right down. That's not bad. Well, you guys can't really see what I'm doing. This is kind of out of line, but it's very easy. Yeah, it's not as tedious as I thought it. Well, I mean, it's tedious, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Now, just when I say that, the seed doesn't want to let go. I don't know. I'll go ahead and finish it. I'm still kind of on the fence about it because it is a bit tedious right now, but I am totally excited that I get to watch like the germination of these seedlings in perfectly spaced, you know what I mean? Because I've set them up 1/2 inch. I did skip this part because I have the marks on the table. So mine are exactly 1 inch apart. And so when I do thin them out, like my daisies, eventually my daisies have to be planted 18 inches apart, but to get a good start, they're going to come up at 1 inch apart. And then if I decide to commit seedling sacrifice, when I pull it up at 1 inch intervals, let's say I pull it up at every 3 inches, you know, I'm not going to damage anybody like right next to him, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you'll get 3 little seedlings and you try to pull 2 and you end up pulling that one too. That's more like seedling homicide. So I'm super excited to see my seedlings come up perfectly spaced. That part I'm totally excited about. I'm also excited about planting day because it's going to be so easy to just make my furrow or make my row, unfurrow it, unfurl this, and lay it out and cover it up and be done with it. That's going to be super exciting. You can wrap them up. You can store them on anything. You can store them on an old roll. Put them in a coffee can. Put them in a soup can. Whatever. Set them in the fridge to cold stratify. As far as I know, you could probably you could totally do that. You know, bleach on the tissue itself, probably not a really like the healthiest environment. It'd be nice if there was something unbleached that you could do this with. That would work to give them an even better chance. But I'm kind of excited to use this. So I am on the fence about it. It is very tedious. It's not a project that would be good for little kids. It's very tiny, very detailed, but kind of cool. So then all you do is you lay your one layer on top of the first layer, and then you end up with a seed tape. And then when it dries, you just, well, you have to mark on there what it is. Wherever my pen went, you have to mark on here what it is so you don't forget. And then it's a good idea to mark also on your roll or wherever you're going to save it what it is, so you really know what it is. Roll it up, store it, wait for that perfect day. All right, guys, happy gardening. Remember, what is that saying? There are no failures in gardening. There's only a series of experiments or something like that. I forget who said that. Anyway, I read that one day. Okay, you guys, love and light, happy gardening. Blessed be.